All right, everyone. Hope you're having a good day, and welcome back to Real Talkin' Fiction. I'm the host for this podcast, Eddie Bowers, and this little series that I'm doing now is called This Ain't Therapy. And in this series, I want to cut through all that fluff. You know, just no bullshit, no sugarcoating, real, honest, truth. And I'm going to call my own ass out. I'm going to give you guys some stories or examples about my life. So, that I hope kind of tie into this particular topic. All right. So this episode is the truth about hustle culture. Today we're going to talk about hustle culture. You know, that whole rise and grind bullshit that's shoved down our throat 24/7. The idea that you need to be working every hour of every day, pushing yourself into exhaustion just to make something of yourself. If you're not grinding, you're dying, right? Wrong. Here's the cold hard truth. Hustle culture, I'm just jumping right into this, it's fucking toxic. It's a lie. And if you bought into it, you're now lying to yourself. And your mentor is lying to you. Whether intentional or unintentional, I don't know them, okay? But how much are they charging you to help you join this hustle culture group? How much did you throw down in monthly fees for manly men supporting manly men groups? Books, DNA of a Real Man. And I'm not downing these books. I'm not downing these groups. I'm just saying, how much money have you spent on this? And if you look back at where you started, how much you've been grinding, and where you're at, are you better off? Or are you just lining another person's pockets, buying all their stuff? Where's the actionable steps in all of this? I haven't seen it. And yes, I've done that stuff too. I bought those books. I've gone to the seminars. But like I said, it's a lie. And I'll explain why in a way you're not going to hear from your favorite influencers or the guy on TikTok telling you, never stop working. I'm sure he's better looking than me. He's probably got like 100 pounds worth of solid muscle, perfectly chiseled, looks like some Greek god. Perfect beard when he doesn't shave for like 5 minutes. It's just like perfect stubbles through. No, not me. Not me. So first off, let's get one thing straight. Again, I'm saying all of this based off of experience. I've been there. I've lived that grind, the sleepless nights, the nonstop work, I'm going to get rich no matter what. Mindset that had me sacrificing everything of actual value, of importance. My relationships, my mental health, my physical health, my mental peace, just to chase a dream. And I'm going to be honest, some of those dreams, they weren't mine. They were a person that was involved in my life. It was their dream for me. But that's a whole other topic. And guess what, y'all? Yeah, that mindset almost killed me. And not just physically. It was mentally. It was emotionally. And yeah, if y'all didn't get what I just said, hit rewind. I'll say it again. It almost killed me. And not just physically. Hustle culture doesn't lead to success. It leads to burnout, depression, and failure. But Eddie, there's so many people out there that have shown how they hustle and they made it. Yeah, but they've left out the key steps in their little speeches about hustle culture. They didn't mention that they took breaks. They didn't mention that somebody helped them, that it wasn't 100% on them. You know, I'll see people all the time on social media bragging about their quote-unquote hustle and how many hours they worked that day. They act like it's a badge of honor. I'm here to say, working yourself into the ground isn't a sign of success. It's really a sign of desperation. You know, it's a sign that you're kind of stuck in a loop of bullshit on this hamster wheel, just spinning round and round and round. I like merry-go-rounds. You get dizzy, you feel all wobbly. They're fun, but that's not my life. That's just pastime. So let's get real, y'all. This whole hustle culture thing is rooted in fear. The fear of being seen as lazy while you're sitting on the couch judging other people. They don't see you on the couch. Maybe you are lazy. I don't know. But the point is, hustle culture is really rooted in fear. Again, fear of being lazy, fear of not measuring up, fear of not being enough. And it's marked as like noble and you know, the whole alpha male thing, red pill, blue pill. Well, it's marked as noble. These people are like, oh, I wake up at 3 a.m. I'm better than you. No, sorry. You know, but it's marked as like hard work, this hard-working pursuit of success. But really, it's just distraction. It's a way to keep you hustling for nothing. It's a cycle that is designed to wear you down, to exhaust you, to the point where you can't even see straight. All while telling you it's for the greater good. But ask yourself this. What are you really working for? Also ask yourself this. If you bought into it and you know you've paid for seminars or webinars and things of that nature, you know, you put money into this because you got to invest in yourself. But if that's how you've been investing, look at where you were. Look at your hustle. Look at where you're at. Was it worth it? And be honest with yourself. Think about it. You know, I mean, how many times have you gotten up at, 4 a.m., worked 12-hour days, and still felt empty? And yeah, blue-collar workers, I know y'all get up like crack of dawn, start working, and you provide amazingly for your woman. But what about you? Okay? What about, you? Because at some point we got to be a little selfish and we got to focus on us. And then add on top of that, how many times have you been told during your hustle, during your life, that if you're not working, you're losing, only to feel more isolated, more stressed, physically, mentally, emotionally, just stressed. And then within that, did you feel more disconnected from everything around you? Was it go to work hard, play hard? Second you get off work, cracking open a beer or a bottle, start numbing the pain? No, I'm guilty of that too. Don't worry. Again, not judging, because I've been there. When I was going through my second divorce, I honestly drowned myself in work. Getting up 3 a.m, doing my thing, bringing money in. And why? Because I thought, hustle culture, this is what it was teaching me. I thought if I just worked harder, because clearly, I wasn't working hard enough. juggling kids, a business, a job, writing books, publishing books, doing a podcast. Just all of that. That wasn't enough. I wasn't working harder. So I needed to work harder. And I honestly believed things would get better. But I'm telling you guys, that was bullshit. Truth is, I was just running from my pain. I was hiding in my grind because I didn't want to face, the fact that I was crumbling. I was falling apart. I was devastated. I convinced myself that if I just keep pushing, success would come. And the happiness, that happy, joy moment that I was craving would finally show up. It would finally just manifest. It would finally knock on my door. But all that grind did was it sucked the life out of me. I'm not saying you shouldn't work hard. I'm not saying don't put in effort. No, I'm all for putting the work in. But this whole idea of hustle culture is fucking destroying you. It's making you believe that your worth is tied to your productivity. That if you're not grinding every second of every day, you're failing. Here's what no one tells you. Burnout is real. And if you don't acknowledge that, it'll kill you. Literally and figuratively. There's just no way around it. Studies have shown that chronic overwork increases your risk of heart disease, anxiety, depression, and a whole host of other mental and physical health issues. You might feel invincible for a while, but your body, your mind, bro, they are screaming for you to stop. Not because they're weak. And then, what happens when you hit burnout? Crack open another bottle, yell at your wife, scream at your girlfriend, smack your kids. You snap. You just start snapping. So again, what happens? What happens when you crash? Okay, so instead of just little stories that people might be taking as insults or, I would never do that. I'm stronger than you, Eddie. Okay, cool. I ain't that strong, according to some people. But let's look at the numbers, all right? Numbers don't lie. According to a study by Gallup, 23% of employees reported feeling burned out very often and always. And another 44% feel burned out sometimes. It's simple math. That's between 60 and 70% of people who are working themselves to the point of collapse. Who thinks that's success? Because you're wrong. That's not success. They're doing it willingly. Yeah, they've got their goals, their dreams, their aspirations. But that is self-sabotage. I know this all, honestly, not being conceited, not elevating myself, but I know this all too well. I've been that guy. And for years I was that guy. The one who thinks he can push through anything. I mean, I can, but I do it wiser now. The one who sacrifices his peace, you're a martyr, his health, and his relationships for a dream that only ever seemed to be out of reach. Now, I didn't intentionally sabotage my 2 marriages, my last hardcore meaningful relationship. I was grinding, hustling. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it great for me and her. No, I didn't. I burned out. I started crashing. And then hustle more, hustle. As I'm sliding down this hill, I'm grabbing at everything I could grab to stop my fall, to stop my descent. Didn't stop it. Hit ground zero. Then I found out that, the bottom, rock bottom, it's got a basement, y'all. It's got a basement. That basement ain't fun. So again, I know this from experience. But let me tell you, none of that was worth it. None of that grind, sleepless nights, 5-6 hours of sleep. Oh, but Eddie, you need 8. Yeah, but how do you get 8 hours of sleep every day if you've got to grind, if you've got to hustle? And have a personal life, and have kids, and have dogs, and have yards that need mowed, trash that needs taken. You only have 24 hours a day, and you only have 7 days a week. So see, but this is the point. We all know that, but this hustle culture is just push more and more and more and more and more and more. And when you got nothing more to give, that machine wants to take. And that's the thing. Think about it. It's given freely and willingly, but the other side, in order to receive, has to take. Let that kind of sink in for a second, I guess. Like I said, none of it was ever worth it. When you're working 18 hours a day and you have no one to share it with, what's the fucking point? Tell me, what is the point? I've been in that place, guys, and you know what I found out? I think I've said it generically enough. The hustle, it didn't bring me any closer to happiness. It only pulled me further away from it. I've sacrificed too much to ever let myself fall into that trap again. And I hope you don't fall into that trap. So now, here's another hard truth. It's okay to reset. I've had to do it plenty of times in my life. It's okay to take that step back. It's okay to say no. And you don't have to apologize for it. You've been grinding nonstop, only to end up exhausted and empty. So, say it this way. It's time to ask yourself why. Why are you hustling so hard? What is the real reason? Be honest with yourself. Are you trying to prove something to the world? The world don't care about you. Are you running from something deeper inside you? I don't know. You see, hustle culture teaches you to work hard at the expense of everything else. But true success, true fulfillment comes when you find, some of y'all might disagree, and that's fine, but balance. When you stop measuring your worth by how much you produce and start measuring it by how much peace you have in your life. Not avoidance, not, I feel good because, lawn needed mowed today and I just didn't feel like it, so I'm not going to do it. That's not peace. That's avoidance. And then how much love. And if you listen to anything, read anything that I've ever spoke or written, love is a huge thing for me. But like how much joy. And I'm sure also if you've, listened to anything, read anything I've said or written, y'all, I have been in that dark place. The place where the grind consumes you. But I'm telling you right now, even success isn't worth losing your soul over. You can't work yourself to happiness. That's a lie. You can work hard. Yes, of course. But it's the quality of your life, the relationships you build, and the moments you take to rest and recharge that will actually make you feel fulfilled. So just stop. Just for a second. Stop hustling. Breathe. Look around and realize that success isn't about how much you are grinding. It's about how much you are living. Now, with all that, all right, thanks for tuning in to Real Talk and Fiction. Okay, again, this has been, episode 2 for This Ain't Therapy. Again, episode 2, the truth about hustle culture. Now, honestly, if that hit or start hitting like you in the gut a little bit, let it sink in. Stop grinding for a moment and just live. Don't forget, subscribe, follow, blah, 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 blah. We've all heard it a million times. Most podcasters and YouTubers, they got their little speeches. But again, you guys have heard it. Just click for yourself. But if this wasn't really your vibe and you listened anyway and I hurt your feelings, I insulted you, I insulted your life coach indirectly, my point wasn't to insult anybody. All right? But anyway, I'm not going to sit here and justify what I said. If you got it, you got it. You didn't, you didn't. Maybe re-listen. But yeah, anyway, like I said, subscribe, follow, click the notifications button. Stop grinding. Stop the hustle bullshit. Go live. Don't end up a twice divorced man, a heartbroken man, someone who speaks truth but everybody labels as bitter, like me. I don't know if everybody considers me bitter. Maybe that was dramatic. But seriously, start living, y'all. All right, that was a long dramatic pause. Sorry about that. But I will see you guys on the next episode, And if y'all want to, all of my podcasts go onto YouTube. All right? And if you see this or hear this on YouTube, drop me a comment. All right? Tell me your thoughts about what I just wrote. Jeez. Too many books, y'all. Just said to y'all. Ask me any questions. I may not have all of the answers, but I will research the ever-living crap out of things to get answers. So, like I said, I will see you guys next time on the next episode. Well, I'll record and post another episode. And I hope that these are engaging, maybe getting a little more engaging, so that it feels a little more like a conversation instead of a sermon. Or as I was accused of once, being a, quote, TED Talk, end quote. So y'all have a great one. And again, I'll see you guys next time.